It is 1978 in New York City, and Louis Werner, a cargo agent at John F. Kennedy International Airport, is swimming in a massive gambling debt of $20,000, the equivalent of $106,000 in today's money, owed to a bookmaker with strong ties to one of the deadliest and most feared crime families in New York City at the time, the Lucchese crime family. Louis is well aware that if he does not pay off his debt, he is just a few days away from disappearing from the planet without a single trace. He and his co-worker, Peter Grunwald, had previously been successful in stealing $22,000 in foreign currency from the airline back in 1976. But this time, Louis wants to pull off something bigger, something that would get the FBI off their seats and running around the city. Something that would see police helicopters flying across state lines, desperately trying to curtail the severe damage caused by his plan. What Louis never imagined was that his big plan would pitch the FBI and the NYPD against a powerful member of the Lucchese crime family. And when a crime boss begins feeling the heat from law enforcement, he becomes paranoid. When a crime boss gets paranoid, certain people will have to disappear, and bodies will have to pile. Louis Werner was about to kickstart one of the longest investigated crimes in United States history, with the latest arrest connected to the robbery made in 2014, a full 36 years after the crime was committed. Before we go any deeper into this interesting story, please take a second to like and subscribe. It really helps us out. Now let's continue. Werner approaches his bookmaker. The man's name is Martin Krugman. Tron Krugman is not a street-level thug. He is a connected man, connected specifically to the Lucchese crime family, one of the 5 major organized crime dynasties that controlled New York City. Werner sits down with Krugman and lays out what he knows. Once a month, Lufthansa, a major German airline, flies large amounts of American cash into JFK Airport. This is money that had been exchanged in West Germany by American soldiers stationed there and by American tourists traveling abroad. Under the regulations of the time, that currency had to be physically transported back to the United States and deposited into American banks. The cash would arrive at JFK, be brought to the cargo terminal at Building 261, and placed inside the vault. It would sit there overnight, waiting to be collected the following morning when the banks opened. Nobody was guarding it the way a bank would be guarded. It was sitting in an airport cargo vault. And Werner knew the layout. He knew the schedules. He knew which employees would be on shift. He knew the security systems inside and out. Krugman listens carefully. Then he asks the obvious question. How much are we talking about? Werner estimates about $2 million. Krugman's eyes light up. Martin Krugman takes the idea directly to James Burke. Burke is no ordinary criminal. He is a notorious gangster, deeply associated with the Lucchese crime family, feared throughout New York's underworld, and a man who has spent his entire adult life planning and executing major crimes. He operates out of a bar in Queens called Robert's Lounge, a place that serves as his base of operations, his planning room, and his social club all rolled into one. Burke listens to Krugman lay out Werner's proposal. He thinks it over. Then he says yes. Planning begins immediately. Werner supplies everything Burke needs: detailed maps of the cargo terminal, information about which employees are likely to be working the night shift, the exact timing of the cash delivery, the security setup, and critically, the details of the vault's double-door system. This is a mechanism where one door must be fully closed before the second can be opened. Otherwise, an alarm fires directly to the Port Authority police unit stationed at the airport. Werner hands over every piece of intelligence Burke requests. Burke assembles his crew carefully, handpicking men he trusts from the network built around Robert's Lounge. The team includes Tommy DeSimone, a violent, experienced criminal who carries 2 pearl-handled pistols and has a well-earned reputation for explosive aggression. Angelo Sepe, Luis Cafora, Joe Manri, Paolo Licastri, and Robert McMahon. Burke's own son, Frank, is assigned to drive one of the backup vehicles. A man named Parnell Edwards, known on the street as Stax, is given one single critical task. After the robbery, he is to drive the getaway van to a junkyard in New Jersey, controlled by John Gotti, where it will be crushed and destroyed along with every piece of evidence inside it. Werner is promised a flat 10% of whatever they steal. Everyone else, depending on their role, is set to receive between $10,000 and $50,000. Those figures are based on an estimated $2 million haul. But what the gang is about to find in that vault will be far larger than anyone anticipated. And one careless mistake from one member of this crew will trigger a paranoia so deep and so deadly that bodies will begin piling up faster than investigators can count them. It is 3 a.m. on Monday, December 11th, 1978. A black Ford Econoline van carrying 6 members of the robbery crew pulls up quietly to Building 261, Lufthansa's cargo terminal at Kennedy Airport. The city is dark. The terminal is still. A pair of bolt cutters snaps the padlock on the gate without a sound. Some of the crew climb the stairs of the East Tower and enter the building wearing black ski masks and gloves. Nobody sees them coming. Inside, a senior cargo agent named John Murray is the first to be taken hostage. He is escorted at gunpoint into the lunchroom, where 5 other Lufthansa employees have been on their scheduled meal break since 3 a.m. See, they are ordered to lie flat on the floor with their eyes closed. Murray is then asked a direct question. Who else is in the building? He tells them. Rudy Eyrich, the night shift cargo traffic manager, and Kerry Whalen, a cargo transfer agent. The robbers force Murray to call out to Eyrich, luring him upstairs. Eyrich arrives and is immediately added to the growing group of hostages on the floor. Outside, Whalen is pulling up to the loading ramp when he notices something wrong. 2 men, unmasked, are sitting in a black van parked at the loading dock. He parks and walks toward them. One of the men tells him to get in. Whalen's instincts fire. He turns and runs, screaming for help into the empty airport darkness. He does not get far. He is caught, pistol-whipped, and thrown into the van. Then he is dragged inside the building and forced to join the others on the lunchroom floor. Moments later, an employee named Rolf Rebman hears a noise near the loading ramp and goes to investigate. He is seized and brought to the lunchroom as well. The robbers now have everyone they need. Some of them take Eyrich at gunpoint and walk him directly to the vault. Eyrich knows the double door system. He knows that if he opens the second door without properly closing the first, an alarm fires straight to the Port Authority police. The robbers know this too. Werner has briefed them in precise detail. They instruct Eyrich calmly and exactly on what to do. He opens the first door, steps into the small anteroom, closes it behind him, then opens the second door. Inside the vault, the cash is stacked in cartons, and 72 15-pound boxes of untraceable American currency. The crew loads all 72 cartons into the van. At 4:21 a.m., the van pulls to the front of the building. A Buick, acting as a crash car, meaning it is there to ram any police vehicle that attempts to intercept the convoy, pulls in behind it. 2 gunmen climb into the van. The rest get into the Buick. Before leaving, the crew tells the hostages not to call the Port Authority police until 4:30 a.m. The first emergency call is recorded at exactly that time. The convoy drives to an auto repair shop in Canarsie, Brooklyn, where Burke is waiting. The 72 cartons are unloaded from the van and transferred into the trunks of 2 cars. Burke and his son drive away in one. Manri, McMahon, DeSimone, and Sepe drive off in the other. When the cartons are opened and the money is counted, the crew makes a staggering discovery. The vault did not contain $2 million. It contained $5 million in cash and an additional $875,000 in jewelry, nearly $6 million in total, worth over $30 million in today's money. It is the largest cash robbery in American history at that time. Now comes the mistake that unravels everything. Parnell Edwards has one job: drive the van to the Gotti junkyard in New Jersey and make sure it is destroyed. It is simple, it is critical, and it is non-negotiable. Edwards does not do it. Instead, he parks the black Ford van directly in front of a fire hydrant outside his girlfriend's apartment building in the Canarsie neighborhood of Brooklyn and goes inside. 2 days after the heist, a police officer spots the illegally parked van. The plates are discovered to have been stolen. The van is impounded. Inside, investigators find fingerprints. They trace those prints to Edwards, and through Edwards, they pull the thread straight back to Robert's Lounge and Burke's crew. Within 3 days of the robbery, the FBI had identified Burke and his associates as the most likely perpetrators. The FBI launches a surveillance operation unlike anything they had previously run on this crew. Agents follow crew members in helicopters. They plant listening devices in vehicles, in the phones at Robert's Lounge, and in the public payphones closest to the bar. They record fragments of conversation. They heard Sepe telling an unidentified man about a brown case and a bag from Lufthansa. Sepe telling his girlfriend to look where the money is and to dig a hole in the cellar of the rear lawn. Tantalizing, suggestive, but not enough for a search warrant, not enough for an arrest. Burke knows they are listening. That knowledge, that the FBI has him in its sights, is what transforms James Burke from a calculating criminal into something far more dangerous. According to Henry Hill, a member of the crew who would later become an FBI informant, Burke became completely paranoid once he understood how much heat Edwards' carelessness had brought down on all of them. And Burke's response to that paranoia is brutally simple. He decides to eliminate every single person who could connect him to the heist. One by one, the people who know too much begin to disappear. Edwards is first. Burke, with the blessing of Lucchese Capo Paul Vario, orders Tommy DeSimone and Angelo Sepe to handle it. They find Edwards and shoot him 5 times in the head. He dies with a piece of chicken still in his mouth. Mid-meal, mid-sentence, mid-life. Martin Krugman, the bookmaker who brought the entire idea to Burke, makes the fatal mistake of complaining too loudly about his cut. He tells people he deserves more money. He says it too many times, to too many people. Burke and Sepe respond by killing him and dismembering his body. It is never found. Louis Kafora, a 300-pound man known by the nickname Roast Beef, had been laundering heist money through his Brooklyn parking lot business. He is told firmly to keep a low profile. Instead, he buys his wife Joanna a custom pink Cadillac, drives it near the JFK cargo area where the FBI investigation is actively ongoing, and tells her about the heist and other mob business. Both Louis and Joanna Kafora vanish. Their bodies are never found. Robert McMahon and Joe Manry, both cargo thieves who worked at JFK, are approached by FBI agents and offered witness protection in exchange for information. They refuse. In May 1979, both men are found shot in the back of the head, execution style, sitting together in a parked car. A month later, the burned, naked, and bullet-riddled body of Paolo Licastri, a Sicilian drug trafficker who had represented the Gambino crime family's interests in the heist and was responsible for ensuring they received their $200,000 cut, is found on a burning rubbish heap in Brooklyn. Richard Eaton and Tom Monteleone, Florida restaurant and club owners who had been laundering heist cash through their businesses and were suspected of keeping money that was not theirs, are both murdered. Aiton's hog-tied frozen body is discovered by children inside a refrigerated meat truck. Teresa Ferrara, the occasional mistress of several crew members who was suspected of being in on the skimming, is killed. Her headless torso washes ashore in New Jersey. By the summer of 1979, just 7 months after the robbery, Burke has carried out or ordered the execution of 9 people connected to the Lufthansa heist. As Henry Hill would later say in a documentary, rather than give everyone $400,000 or $500,000 apiece, it was easier to put a quarter bullet in their head. So he started eliminating everyone at that point. The 2 killers Burke relied on most heavily to carry out these murders eventually met the same fate. Tommy DeSimone, popularly known as Tommy Two Guns, is shot in the head by John Gotti himself, in retaliation for DeSimone having murdered 2 Gambino crime family members without first seeking permission. In July 1984, more than 5 years after the robbery, Angelo Seppi is killed by his own Lucchese crime family for stealing cash and cocaine from a Lucchese-affiliated drug dealer. The men Burke used to silence others are silenced in turn. The legal reckoning for the Lufthansa heist is, by almost any measure, a failure for justice. Werner is the only person ever convicted of the robbery itself. Prosecuted in 1979, he is sentenced to 15 years in prison. He gave them the keys to one of the greatest cash robberies in American history and served more time than anyone else connected to it. Burke is never charged with the Lufthansa heist. The FBI recordings are suggestive, but not conclusive. The witnesses are dead. The evidence keeps dissolving. He is eventually convicted for the murder of Richard Eaton and for his role in a point-shaving scheme at Boston College, a fraud in which college basketball players were paid to deliberately underperform so that gamblers could profit from the rigged outcomes. He dies of lung cancer in prison. Paul Vario, the Lucchese capo who authorized Burke's decisions throughout the aftermath of the heist, is convicted of extorting freight companies at JFK Airport. He also dies of lung cancer in prison. Henry Hill, increasingly certain that Burke's paranoia is about to turn in his direction, enters the Federal Witness Protection Program with his family. In exchange, he provides investigators with detailed testimony about dozens of crimes committed by Burke, Vario, and their network. His account becomes one of the most significant pieces of inside intelligence ever extracted from the Lucchese orbit. As Hill himself put it, "Little by little, the more people got killed, the more I started to realize that I just might be one of them eventually." In January 2014, Vincent Asaro, a capo, meaning a captain, in the Bonanno crime family, is arrested and charged with involvement in the Lufthansa heist. The case rests partly on testimony from former Bonanno boss Joseph Massino and from Asaro's own cousin, Gaspare Valenti. On November 12, 2015, a Brooklyn jury acquits Asaro of all charges related to the heist. That acquittal is the final punctuation mark on the Lufthansa case. 37 years of investigation, dozens of interviews, 9 murders, confessions that arrived too late, evidence that collapsed in court, a robbery that was heard, watched, and surveilled in real time, and still, only one person went to prison for it. The $5 million in cash and $875,000 in jewelry stolen from that vault at Building 261 in the early hours of December 11th, 1978 have never been recovered. Not $1, not one piece. All of it gone, absorbed into the criminal economy, spent, laundered, buried, or taken to graves that were never found. Louis Werner wanted to pay off a $20,000 gambling debt. What he actually did was walk into the most catastrophic chain of events in the history of American organized crime. A robbery that spawned more than 9 murders, consumed some of New York's most dangerous men, and kept investigators searching for answers for nearly 4 decades. If you made it this far, please do us a favor. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone you know would love it. It takes 2 seconds and it genuinely helps this channel grow. I will see you in the next one.